the Plug in Live Oak, Florida. Edward Porter, veteran engineer of the Bradenton water system, has been giving serious consideration to the water problem in Florida for years. He writes, "You may be interested to read this short story, explaining why this writer has more or less been concerned with the water supply in our state from a rather early age. In May 1892, my father, the late George E. Porter, decided on locating his lumber mills at Live Oak, Suwannee County, at that time the hub of a large section of the very finest yellow pine timber. The first consideration in locating the mills was an ample supply of water for the steam boilers and other purposes. The businessmen of Live Oak were enthusiastic over the prospect of a new industry, even to the extent of donating the land. They were also quick to inform my dad that there was no water available in that immediate territory, for the town had drilled several wells, one 1,220 feet in depth, but no sign of water. Of course, it was a case of no water, no mill. So to settle the question, my father told Tom Warren, an experienced well digger, to let him know if any water was underground. Well, old Warren made him some switches, and after walking rather slowly over the proposed plant site, suddenly stopped. There's water down there. The people of Live Oak were hauling their drinking water from Suwannee Springs, which was about 7 miles north. The men assembled the tools that afternoon and next morning started to dig a well, 10 feet by 10 feet in the clear, and securely curbed down 28 feet to solid rock. A 2-man windlass was built over the top of the well that operated 2 large buckets, so arranged that when a loaded bucket of chipped rock was lifted out of the well, an empty bucket would take its place. Every 10 feet down, a 3-foot platform was built with a connecting stationary ladder. These platforms were so arranged that they protected the workmen should anything accidentally fall in the well. It took the men some time to chip through 15 inches of blue flint rock. Underneath this hard layer, the rock was rather soft, and the digging was good. My dad put me on the payroll. It was my job to go down in the well in an empty bucket each morning and afternoon at 10 cents a trip. I'd bring up the measurements and give a verbal report of the progress that was being made. I was a boy of 10 years, and I not only felt that I had a good paying job, but I was having more fun than any boy in the state. On my last trip down in the well, it measured 71.5 feet from the surface. While looking around in the semi-darkness, I noticed a circle of green clay about 15 inches in diameter and about shoulder high. Boy-like, I had to play. In time, I had worked my fingers, and then my hand, and then my arm into the clay. And at elbow length, my hand felt something very cold. As I pulled my arm out of the clay, the plug shot out like a cannonball and knocked me down. At the same instant, a stream of solid water, the full size of the hole, struck the opposite side of the well. There was the wildest scramble to keep our heads above water and reach the second platform 20 feet above. When the water reached the level or pressure of the underground stream, it measured 16 feet in the well. Sometime later, with all the steam pumps we could safely install down in the well, the water could be lowered only 5 inches. All the tools, dinner buckets, etc., are still down in the bottom of that well to this day. So old Warren with his switches delivered the goods, and we had a wonderful supply of good water. The people of the town got their drinking water from this well until Thomas Dowling built the first waterworks. And that is the story of pulling the plug.